I really was having seizures that would last about 24 hours, or not being able to get myself out of bed. Like, yeah, it was one extreme or the other.
Really, what prompted you in your personal life to create whole self wellness? Like, you talked about how like you were struggling with getting out of bed, but then you moved on to making a calisthenics routine. So what else was like going on, or maybe in your thought process, that really prompted you to say, this needs to be a program that people can access?
Yeah, I love that question. It really came because people started asking me for it. People started approaching me and being like, how did you do this? How did you go in 7 years from this to this, point A to point B? And I really was having seizures that would last about 24 hours, or not being able to get myself out of bed. Like, yeah, it was one extreme or the other. My spine would either lock in place and sort of feel like it was fused and I couldn't move, or I would flail. Like, it was one or the other. And, you know, it was really severe. And then I went from that to, I was just doing archer push-ups today, and they're super, super, super fun. I like all the fun things. So archer push-ups are, it looks like you're pulling a bow and arrow, but you're actually doing push-ups, like with your arm extended fully and straight. They're fun. They're really fun. So you go up and then to the other side, and then up and to the other side. So those are super, super hard, right? Like, they're really hard. And in 7 years, I went from A to B. And so I have had a lot of individuals say, how in the world did you do that? But I've also had a lot of licensed professionals that look at me with shock, and their jaw drops and their eyes get really big. You know the big eyes, and it's bad when you're dating a doctor and they look at you like you're the nerdy one in the room. But yeah, a lot of licensed professionals in actually multiple different disciplines said, wait, what? Wait, how? And I'm the one that if I ever have to go to the emergency room, the doctor walks in and says, oh, you're interesting. No, stop it. I'm not. I'm boring, and you have all the answers. Give me the magic pills, please. Please. But I'm one of those cases that's rare and extreme. And I spent years digging, and I just don't want other people to feel like they have to dig, or they have to be a neuroscientist, or they have to be a doctorate degree psychologist to use this information. And I don't like it that people feel like they have to have the one-on-one, and they have to keep pouring money and pouring money and pouring money, and not feeling like they're having the impact in their lives that they want to have. And so when people keep coming to me and saying, how did you do it? It's because they're frustrated. It's because they feel stuck. It's because they're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired and broke, and so that's where whole self wellness came from, is requests. Yeah, licensed professionals said, hey, where's your stuff? How do you teach people? Do you teach people? I want you to teach people how to do this.
That is really inspiring. It's like, because you've been there, you're saying, I don't want anybody else to have to struggle the same way I did. I want to give them these materials so that they can help themselves.
Yeah, and I want them to begin to see where they have their own agency, where they have choice, where they can make movement. Because at first, it's little tiny tweaks, but they make big impacts. Like, on things where we don't have a direct control over it, we do have influence over it. And so as we begin to work over here, we actually start to see a trickle down effect over here as well. In the thing that we thought we would never, ever, ever fix, never be well from, we start to see improvement. I have diagnoses that may never go away ever, but I have decreased their impact in my life significantly because I've removed factors that were impacting it, and because I know how to set my day up in a way where I'm taking care of myself properly, how to be proactive, and how how to adjust for those things that may never go away. And, out of all of that whole time period, I now have a gene mutation that has expressed. So I like to joke and say that I'm an X-Men because I think I'm funny, but
You are funny.
Thank you. I need that validation. Yeah. Could you please let my kids know that I'm funny? Because they need help in that department. Oh, there's a meme that says that awkward moment when your parents don't realize the hilarious child they raised. Except for me, that's the opposite. That awkward moment when your kids don't realize how funny their mom is. Oh, yeah, I'm funny. You're embarrassed, but I'm not. Anyway, what was I saying? Tangent. Oh, gene mutation. I'm an X-Men.
Yes, I couldn't remember either. This is what conversations are like in my house as well, by the way. So
Right. I'm not surprised. I'm not. I should pretend like I'm surprised, but I'm really not. It's okay. It's okay. That's why we get along.
you've met my mom.
I have met your mom. I love your mom. Your mom's amazing. Put this on YouTube so she can watch it later.
Yeah.
Telling the world that she's amazing because she is. Everybody needs to know her. Anyway, she is. She's a phenomenal woman. That being said, what was I saying? I was talking about X-Men. That's it.
Yes.
So I have a gene mutation that is recessive, and it only expresses when there's a catalyst that causes it to express. So it's not like a recessive and a recessive get together and then you have brown eyes. This is different. This lays dormant until something makes it activate. And so way back when, I didn't just have mental health issues. And I didn't just have physical issues that were caused by my mental health issues. I actually had unrelated medical things that were causing trauma. And I had unrelated trauma that was causing medical stuff. And so I actually had this back and forth that was very, very severe. So I had mold poisoning, me and my kids, and it was very severe mold poisoning. Very severe. Like the bar graph is, I think, from 0 to 100 for the mycotox test. And it's this little, yeah. So they had to shrink it to even let it fit on the page because mine was 3,000.
Whoa.
Right. Mine was 3,000, which is why my body was having seizures related to the unrelated trauma. Because I was already weak. I was already shaking. I was already twitching. I was already doing this from the mold. And so then you have the mold and the trauma, and your brain is like, I got to get this trauma out. I'm already doing this. Let's do it some more. Because shaking is actually a healthy, common way to regulate. You'll see it in animals even. And so I had like this whole severe thing, and the mold poisoning caused that gene mutation to express. And so once the genie's out of the bottle, it's out of the bottle. You can't shove it back in the bottle. And so I'll never have a gene mutation. And that gene mutation is the reason I don't wake up from anesthesia.
That is scary.
It is very scary. Yes, it is very scary. And it took a lot of doctors to get to the point where I had a doctor that believed me and did all the tests and found the reason why I don't wake up. And yeah, now I get to laugh with my anesthesiologist about it, who, by the way, agree that I'm funny. That's all I have to say. Yeah. So there are things that can move, and there are things that may never go away. There just are. But we can improve. We can improve those things. We're not stuck as much as we feel frustrated and stuck. Sometimes we're not. And that's one of my big passions, is to bring people stuff that they don't have to be in academia to find. They don't have to feel like they're this huge intellectual to understand the big words of the blah 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 whatever. Let's talk about it like we're in kindergarten, so everybody can use the same information, and we don't have to analyze terminology. Forget that crap. Forget it. Let's bring stuff that we can use, and we don't have to keep buying medical tech, and we don't have to keep going back for repeated appointments for the same thing. We can shorten those significantly. Like, what would happen if you went to your doctor and you said, yeah, I have diabetes, right? But I also have trauma, right? And I've been working on trauma with a therapist, and I've been working with my coach at Whole Self Wellness, and I've figured out how to eat in a way that helps my diabetes and helps my trauma. That's a trifecta. That's a powerful trifecta. Can you get rid of your diabetes? Depends on the kind of diabetes and how that works. That's between you and your doctor. I'm not going to even pretend to have a medical license here. I'm not even going to pretend to tell you what you should be doing or should not be doing. That's between you and your doctor. But then you bring it into the coaching sessions and you are working on it, and you have that support group at Whole Self Wellness, and you're able to move through this powerful healing alongside other people who are doing similar things.